Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we have a strange blend that we're going to put together, and that is with the two whiskeys I have in front of me. We have E.H. Taylor Single Barrel and we have John J. Bowman Single Barrel. Both are coming in at 100 proof. Both are coming out of the Sazerac family. And there's been a lot of different rumors, right? And I'd like to know in the comments if you've heard something different, but I've heard that a lot of people try to compare and say that John J. Bowman is the same mash bill as the Blantons, the Rock Hill Farms, the Hancocks from Buffalo Trace. But I've heard a lot more discussion lately that it's actually the same mash bill as E.H. Taylor, Stag, Eagle Rare. So I'm curious. And what I want to do tonight is I'm actually going to take both of these whiskeys. I'm going to do 50-50. I want to blend them up. And I want to find out, do they complement each other? Do they battle? Is it not the right blend? And truly see if these will blend. And maybe find out maybe if they are in the same family or mash bill. So who knows? Maybe we will create a delicious monster, or maybe it will be absolutely terrible. We'll find out. A lot of amazing history behind both of these bottles. When you think about John J. Bowman and the whole Bowman family, they actually, the Bowman brothers, so that Bowman brothers is another small batch whiskey that the Abram Smith distillery produces. Those four brothers that were part of the Bowman family actually served in the Revolutionary War. And John J. Bowman, his great-great-grandson, who's Abram Smith Bowman, who started the distillery back in 1934, he's the great-grandson of John J. Bowman, which is pretty cool. So, you know, Abram went and said, hey, let's go ahead and, you know, create a distillery. Let's make some amazing juice. They have John J. Bowman. They have Isaac Bowman, which is a port cast finish. They make a rum. And then, of course, they have the Bowman brothers. And then the most sought after is the Abraham Bowman, which is their cast strength bourbon, which I'd love to get my hands on. That's one bottle that I'm one day we'll get and hopefully have at the bar. And then I think, you know, E.H. Taylor, I think most everyone knows the history here with E.H. Taylor, but he started the OFC distillery in Kentucky, worked with George T. Stagg. Lot of history here. He helped create the Bottled and Bond Act. So he's known as one of the fathers of bourbon. So, I mean, he is well known. So we got a lot of history here. We're going back and looking at different ages here. So it's going to be fun to see both of these whiskeys. You know, let's blend them up. Let's see how it is. I love both of these. John J. Bowman's probably one of my all-time favorite bottles. I have 4 or 5 backup bottles. It's one of those ones you can consider an everyday sipper. And E.H. Taylor Single Barrel, I've had some really good ones. I've had some that have just been okay. So, but this one I do know, the little bit that I have left was a monster single barrel. So I figured, hey, let's blend them up. Let's see if we can create a great pour here tonight and see how it goes. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do 50-50. I will start with the John J. Bowman. And I'll have you guys let me know. Have you guys had either of these whiskeys? Do you have a preference on a Taylor or one of the Bowman? Alright, so we're going to go a ½ ounce of the John J. Put that up here. And then let's get this out of the tube. See, I only have a little bit left of the Taylor Single Barrel here. Let's get that poured up. And we'll do 50% of the Taylor Single Barrel. Can't lie, I'm a little nervous about doing this because it could taste absolutely terrible. Okay, and then we got 50% of the Taylor Single Barrel. Okay, so we'll set that here. I am going to go ahead and mix these around, get these blended up. I will be sad to see this Taylor Single Barrel go. It's one of those ones that I think when you find the right single barrel and it just hits the spot, like you're gonna miss it, you know. And this is one of those ones. I think this is actually my first Taylor single barrel that I got, and it's gonna be one that I'm gonna miss. I've actually never had a bad batch of John J. Bowman single barrel. A little more history on these. Taylor's obviously out of Buffalo Trace in Kentucky. John J. Bowman is aged in Virginia. I think both of these are aged right in that same range of 8, 9. Maybe there's some 10-year-old juice in both of these. So I'll be curious to see if they are truly the same mash bill. I think we'll probably get a little bit of an indication if they truly blend well together, or if they taste just the same, right? Maybe there's no difference at all. So let's go in for the nose and see what we get. And so far the nose smells respectively. If you gave me this, I would think it was either one of these. It is red fruits, caramel, white sugar, raspberry, a little bit of butterscotch in there, very soft. There's a little bit of plum, a lot of candied notes in here. It smells like a Buffalo Trace product. Very, very sweet smelling. What's interesting though, the nose actually, it's kind of reminiscent of like a George T. Stagg. Not as hot as a George T. Stagg on the nose, but some of those fruit flavors that you can pull usually from a George T are coming through on the nose with this. That's why I usually do not pick that up on either of these being 100 proof. Okay, that smells great. The nose is it's promising so far. So let me give it a couple more mixes here, get it blended up. But the proper way to do this, if I were to let this sit and kind of mellow, maybe put in a sample, probably get a little better indication how it tastes. But we're gonna do it live, you know. We're gonna see how it goes. All right, let's go in for the palate and see what we get. Okay, that is that's nuts. That tastes actually nothing like either of those. It's actually drinking hotter than 100 proof, which I'm a little shocked at. It is warm, comforting. It kind of just wraps you up. A lot of fruit on the palate, very sweet, smooth, not a lot of burnt. It kind of tastes like a mini Stagg. I wouldn't say, you know, obviously like a Stagg or George T. Stagg, not on that level, but I'm actually surprised. Like, that tastes a lot better than, I would actually take this blend over either of these, to be completely honest. Like, that tastes amazing. So that's a 50-50 blend between these two. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's great. A lot of that fruit's coming through on the palate. Sweet, candy, goodness through and through. That's amazing. Okay, well, there we go. I now am wondering, like, having done this, like, they complement each other so well. You know, and it's hard to say, right? Buffalo Trace Sazerac, they're not going to disclose what's getting shipped where. So I think it's always going to be speculation. But doing this little science experiment, they played, because, with the high rye mash that comes from like the Blantons or the other batches like Rock Hills and stuff, I feel like that might clash with the Taylor. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to test it out and see. Maybe I put a Blanton's and mix it up with a single barrel Taylor. But this is hitting the right spot. I mean, this is probably one of the better blends I have done. So this is a fun science experiment to see, will it blend? Does it make sense? Great history, of course, with both of these bottles and the pours and the people behind them. So this was a good, happy science experiment. Definitely better than the tequila and bourbon one. I won't do that again. But this one was great. This is phenomenal. I'd say if you have both of these bottles, maybe give it a shot. Do a 50-50 blend. See if you get the same results. They are going to be single barrels, so it probably will be different. But between these two single barrels here, this is hitting the mark. This is delicious. So I appreciate you watching. As always, thanks for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one. Cheers.